got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
Hi everyone, welcome on in. I am Ty at TyDeclare44. I'm riding solo today, but this is the All Gas Trade Show. Yes, welcome in. DDFB popping off in these YouTube streets. Yes, hope everyone's having a great Saturday. Hope you had a great Valentine's Day. To those who celebrate, to those who don't, I hope you have some cheap candy and chocolates at the stores today. So go shopping, go get some cheap deals. But this is the All Gas Trade Show. And again, DDFB for everything happening over at the channel, ddfantasyfootball.com. Use the codes in the description, trades or trade GOAT. Get 50% off your first month in the Discord. Get access to the War Machine and the Trinity Tool with the GOAT tier. And you get a free roster review from me and Gabe if you use any of those codes. Just hit us a DM if you end up signing up with that. Patreon.com/allgas still gets you in the door. Still access to good DD content. And use code ALLGAS over at Underdog for your special pick and up to 1G in bonus cash. So I got my first couple of little boards on Underdog, starting to shake off the dust there, and of course ended up with Vapad in all of my drafts. So those ones I can set those tickets on fire, I guess. But no, it's good to be back in the Underdog streets. So this week, I'm gonna roll through some of the trades we didn't hit last week, some of the new stuff from the patrons. I see a lot of hammers being acquired, so I guess it's hammer hunting season. So we'll look at some ways we can get into hammers, some maybe where it's the time to go the other way. We'll break down the trades as we can. But before we go, if you haven't, hit like, hit subscribe, stay locked into DD. There's tons of dope content dropping damn near daily at this point. So stay tapped in, and without any further ado, let's get to it. Big Jankowski gets us started off here. Got this one done last week. This was done, February 7th, so probably the week before. Right before the Super Bowl. Runner-up last week, 12-team start 11 Superflex, PPR 1.5 tight end premium, start 3 running backs and 3 wide receivers. Hurts pairs with Lamar, gives him Barkley, JT, Chuba, Swift, Najee, Spears. You'll move one of the later ones for a second there. Wide receiver room of Chase, Marv, Ladd, Judy, Cup. Tight ends of Jonnu and JT Sanders. So, pretty well set up. So, Janner, you trade away Caleb, JJ McCarthy, Tucker Kraft, and the 111. You get back Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and Jonnu Smith. Damn. Very nice. So, looking at this deal, again, 12-team start 11 Superflex PPR 1.5 tight end premium. I want to start with the quarterbacks with the hammers, but we'll just start crossing off some things where it makes sense. So tight end wise, Jonnu and Tucker Kraft. I feel like some people are going to be on either side of that. I guess at this point, I'm just going to lean Jonnu. Just bet that Jonnu is going to keep doing Jonnu things. I think if you probably polled the community, Jonnu would come out ahead of Tucker Kraft in most situations. And honestly, I'll just bet on Jonnu there. But if you want to cross him off, I'm fine with that. Choose your favorite. Then we're looking. Really, let's just go to the quarterbacks here. Caleb and JJ McCarthy, right? Does that equal a Jalen Hurts? Maybe. It depends what you can do with them, right? If you feel like you can take JJ and flip them for, a first plus in a way that makes sense for your team, and you want to take the bet that Caleb's going to ascend, or vice versa, you want to bet on JJ and see what you can do with Caleb, and if you feel like you can make another move with those quarterbacks in hand, I don't mind that. But really, Hurts is he's a top 4 dynasty quarterback. He has the rushing upside. He gives you something that Caleb and JJ haven't proven that they can consistently provide you with what we know today. So just from a pure roster construction, putting my team in a place where I don't have to feel like I have to fill a need, I like consolidating into Jalen Hurts here in a 12 by 11. If JJ or Caleb were a top flight wide receiver, I might feel some different ways. And I think we might see some deals like that later on. So we'll explore some different ones. But the Saquon Barkley for 111 here, I think it's Saquon Barkley's side. So I was trying to think earlier, what I would trade for Saquon Barkley. And it has to at least be 106, 107. That's an auto send to try to get a Saquon Barkley. Even with the draft class we have, even though it's not the point scoring season, you have to at least be willing to spend a late first on Saquon. So, for 111, I'm absolutely smashing the button to make that trade. So, all in all, Origin B, you get 2 quarterbacks, you split one into 2. Maybe you took over an orphan, right? And you're trying to get younger, split some things. This just probably isn't how I'm going to split my Hurts into the 2 quarterbacks there. Swap the tight ends, and then you get the pick, but you have to give up Barkley. I'm going to take Janner's side here. Hurts, Barkley, Jonnu Smith. So you add that to this team. Start 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers. So I like having Barkley in that room. Way to use that pick. Way to use those names to get up to Hurts. We're going hammer hunting early on here, Janner. Good stuff. Another J.J. McCarthy trade on the docket here. Rocket. 12 team, start 10, Superflex, 0.5 PPR, 0.5 tight end premium. Took over an orphan that's in rough shape. Amon-Ra and the 101 are your best assets, with Waddle, Goff, and Jennings being your only other assets of any meaningful value other than your draft capital. I mean, when Jennings is in there, you kind of know what we're dealing with. I wanted to convert Amon-Ra into youth, upside, and quantity, and this trade was that in mind. Okay, so you traded away Tua Tagovailoa, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Tyler Higbee. You got into J.J. McCarthy, A.J. Barner, Xavier Worthy, and 108. Yeah. So you had 12 by 10, Superflex, 0.5 PPR, 0.5 tight end premium. Yeah. So we break this down. I mean, Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra's best piece in the deal, but like I said, you're trying to split Amon-Ra. So what would I split Amon-Ra for? So if I took over an orphan, like I said, not a lot of pieces to really write home about. So I just need to split, get liquid, get a little sexier, and start to check some boxes. So Amon-Ra to J.J. McCarthy. Let's say like J.J. McCarthy 108 for Amon-Ra. I think it's still Amon-Ra, but on those teams where I need to split and make a move, I can definitely see myself making a move like that, J.J. and 108 for Amon-Ra. I think the easier way to look at this is probably the 108 for Tua. I know Gabe and I have reviewed trades like that on past episodes where that mid-range first, you're probably willing to spend that for Tua, or you're willing to accept your Tua for that. So 108 for Tua is probably the easiest handoff point. But I feel like J.J. McCarthy and X-Worthy for Amon-Ra is the J.J. side a lot easier. And then if you just want to swap A.J. and Higbee, like A.J. Barner and Higbee, like I'm cool with that. We got a lot of tight end swaps that I'm just, okay, whatever. But yeah, I mean, looking at this, like, yeah, like I was going to say I want Tua over JJ, but if JJ shows anything, I think the community's just going to leave Tua and his head concerns behind, unfortunately. So I am leaning JJ, X-Worthy, 108, and Barner here. I don't want to give up Amon-Ra. I don't want to just give up Tua for sure, right? But I don't think you're giving up. I think you've made a smart move here. You've pivoted down to X-Worthy. You get another quarterback back for your quarterback. You pick up a late first, and really like the 108, you can do a lot of things with. You can attach to X-Worthy. You can try to go up. You can split that down. Maybe you can get a future first plus out of it. So I like having that pick going into the season that we're going into. I think you moved your orphan team forward here. You got, I'll say younger. You got younger, right? And yeah. Just if you have Waddle, Goff, and Jennings, you got to do something, right, aside from the 101 in your picks. So that is doing something. X-Worthy, the rocket ship's going up. We saw what he could do in the Super Bowl. We saw his role grow. And once Hollywood Brown came back in that offense, you saw X-Worthy start to be used in the way that I think he was drafted and what they thought that they were going to use him for. So I like getting some X-Worthy for a cheap price, a decent price. And really, this is a good deal. On the other side, I mean, yeah, you're getting Tua, Amon-Ra, Higbee. You're adding the hammer wide receiver in a 12 by 10. You really can't hate that. But this is where I don't really want to pay the hammer price. I'd rather go the other way and take the package. I think I could do more with JJ, X-Worthy, and 108. So, yeah, good stuff there. Good stuff, Rocket. Good luck with that orphan. And, yeah, a couple more moves to come, I'm sure. Janner, really quick, an extension of the trade above. So a reminder, Janner got into Jonnu, Barkley, and Hurts. Traded away Caleb, JJ, Kraft, and 111. And now in a 12-team, start 11, start 3 wide receivers, start 3 running backs. And now Janner trades away Najee for 205. Yeah. You get Barkley, you can trade away Najee, just bank the pick. I mean, at this point, it feels like you're just writing up probably a decent any running back on a 53 for your 205. Possibly a tight end, maybe a quarterback if he falls, but Really, I'd rather have the 205 over Najee, just in general. And now you're telling me that you're making that on the moves of getting a Barkley. Good job, Tanner. Good job, buddy. Tidewater JC. No settings. It's a pending trade, but Ben Sinnot for the 210. What did we see from Sinnot aside from some hype in the preseason? I think like a catch down the stretch. I'll tell you what, in this class, I'm just going to keep the 210. If this is a 2.0 tight end premium, you might be able to tell me one way or the other, but I'll tell you what, at 210, I'm going to have access to probably Mason Taylor, Terry Ferguson, maybe a Royal falls to 210. I mean, there's a ton of tight ends that I can, if I want to get into tight end, I can use that 210 to get into that, into a range of tight end. I don't need to make my bullet, or shoot my bullet today to get into Ben Sinnot on February 8th to make that happen. So I'm going to take the 210 kind of regardless of format, but interesting one there, Tide. Roy G, 12 by 11 on a contender, but very dodgy at quarterback 2 with Russ and Kirk. Trying to get a solid quarterback and replace the running back production lost by Breece. So, solid contender, dodgy at quarterback 2, 12 by 11. Roy trades away Breece Hall and 109. Gets into Tua, Tagovailoa, Tony Pollard, and the 201. A lot of Tua being moved recently, eh? So, old Roy gets into Tua, trades the 109 in the package. So again, mid first for Tua. That's what we've seen across multiple formats, across multiple deals. If you want to cross off 109 and Tua, I'm cool with it. People are going to want to blow those late first once we get through the draft process, once the quarterback tiers are solidified, once we get through free agency. I think people are going to be at the spot in that late first where I'm going to blow this late first. I'm going to make a trade. Just check that box in my quarterback room because it's a scarce position and I don't trust anyone coming in this year. So I think people are going to be probably spending those late first on Tua anyways, so you might as well get ahead of it. I don't mind that swap. And they're talking Breece Hall for Tony Pollard and 201. So if you see Tua as an upgrade over 109 and you add a little bit of extra spice to that, I can get there, Tony Pollard 201. What I don't really want to do is focus on replacing my running back production lost by Breece in February. I don't need to set a lineup for some months here. So I don't know your league. I don't know everything about like the context of this deal, but I'd be willing to bet that you could do a little bit more with Breece Hall than Tony Pollard in the 201. If we're in September, if you've already shopped Breece around to everyone for the owners who are actually online in February and got all rejects, I can't hate taking the Pollard in the 201. 201 is probably going to be a fun pick to have this year. Some value is probably going to fall to you, and I'm sure people want to come up for that 13th overall pick. But again, man, we're hammer hunting right now. We're trying to consolidate it into pieces that we can make further deals with. The fact this isn't a 12 by 8, 12 by 9, 12 by 10 makes us a lot more digestible and makes me understand why we got Pollard the second and Tua. But I just think I can do more, especially here today with Breece Hall and the 109. If I said that this was Breece Hall and a 2026 first, I think I'd be more onto the Breece Hall side immediately. And then again, I would like to think that I can do more with Breece Hall than Pollard in 201. I would like to. But again, if I have Russ and Kirk and I'm looking at this contending team, probably 109 was it wasn't your pick. You got 109. So I don't know if you have any more picks in the back pocket. I'm still going to lean Breece in the 109 no matter how I try to kind of configure that in my brain. But I see what you were doing. And if getting Tua makes you more flexible with what you have, and if you said you're a contender, so you probably had some running backs behind Breece. If Breece is expendable and you just want to get a deal done, get a little more, get something more done there, I don't mind getting Pollard in the 201. But just if I have to choose a side, I'm taking Breece Hall in the 109. There's our show last week, jam-packed one. We'll see if we can get some more trades on this one than last week. That's my goal. I don't have a Gabe to talk to, so we can probably rip through some more deals this week. Lorenzo, 12-team Superflex start 10 vanilla scoring a complete rebuild. Kid gets a 27 first, 27 second. So Jeremiah Smith and Jeremiah Smith for 201, 301. I mean, come on. So again, it's a 12-team start 10, right? So we are in hammer hunting mode in leagues like that. When you get start 11, start 12, 14 team, you start to mix things up. It becomes less and less about I need to climb the ladder, but in these 12 by 10s, 10 by 10, 10 by 11, like it's about how high can I climb up and how can I acquire things that I can go and get into this difference-making tier of players. And I'll tell you what, a first is the way to do it. I have a liquid first. I can put that in the back pocket. I don't have to assign that to a player in a couple months. The only thing I'll say is like having 201, the hype will still build throughout the combine, throughout the draft process. So I don't need to send my 201 today. But I mean, if I'm getting into a 27 first and a second for 2 seconds, it's just the first, man. 201 is the 13th overall pick. It's never going anywhere up or down. 27 first is fungible. It could end up being an elite outcome, depending on what Matt Martinez 23's team looks like. But I can, as Shane likes, I like some fungible assets this time of year. And yeah, so just give me the 27 first, 27 second. Yeah, 27 is a couple years away. It is now officially a real year. Josh did confirm that on a previous show of the All Gas Trade Show that 2027 is a real year. 2028, do not know yet. So TBD on 2028, but 27 is a real year. Those picks do matter. And at the 201, 203 range, I'm fine to kick that to the future. So I like having 201 and 203 in this class with what I know today, but I'm just going to take the first and we'll go from there. Gosh, every time I zoom in, it just takes me all the way back to the bottom. So here's a quick preview of what's to come. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. T's taking the first side. And I get the time value of money argument when we're talking 2027. Most of them are just random picks with a live shot to be a random pick, a premium pick. 201 is the known 13th player in the draft. Difference makers are so important, especially in a start 10 league. Yeah, I agree. So depends what if you think a premium player is going to be at the 13th pick, all right. But I think the first gives you actually that shot of being a premium pick. So give me the first. Shepard, 87, 12 team, start 12. Here we go, a little deeper. 2 quarterback, 2 tight end, PPR, 0.25 tight end premium. Damn. Okay, here we go. Lock in. Took over an orphan last year, and the roster's slim. Need to take a chance on AR and get multiple picks. Now they have 525 first, 526 first. I know I didn't come out on top on this one, but with how bad the roster is and the needing 12 starting spots, need to get multiple bullets and try to turn it around. Yeah, it's 12 by 12, 2 quarterback, 2 tight end, heavy premium on the tight ends. You gotta have a good team, good construction to really have a shot. So if you're not there, kicking it all the way, to the future, I get it. But Shepard, you sent away Jalen Hurts and Rashee Rice on this orphan. You got back AR and not 1, not 2, but 3 2026 first. One of which belonging to the team you traded with of Charles Chill, FFB. I've seen that name around. Not, I'm sure they're probably a decent Dynasty player. But yeah, so AR and 3 first. Yeah, so anytime you're talking 3 first in a deal in 2025, you got to stop and listen. You do. You don't see that anymore. Those deals aren't just, you don't see the Josh Allen for 4 first plus deals anymore. It just doesn't happen. So you have to at least stop and accept and kind of breathe and look at the deal. If I'm on an orphan team that has 0 assets, I'm very interested in trying to get into first. I mean, I would say 0 assets, but you trade away Hurts and Rice and have 10 future firsts. You don't have nothing, but you have your direction kind of chosen for you at this point. So Anthony Richardson, let's say Anthony Richardson and 2 firsts for Jalen Hurts. I think from like a pure value standpoint, probably fair. If Anthony Richardson can take a step forward as an NFL quarterback, if he can, fill in a quarterback spot and give that top 6 quarterback outcome like his skill set says that he could, then I don't mind it trading out of Hurts for that. But in general, I'm still just gonna, still gonna take Hurts, still gonna stick with the difference maker. And then you're talking a future first for Rashee Rice. I made a mistake on one of my rebuilders last year of trading Rice away for a singular future first. Of course, that first ended up being 112, right? And I see that Charles Chill FFB first came back. So I'm going to assume it's a very, very interesting, very dynamic, and very competitive league based on the people you're playing with and the names I see here. So Rashee Rice for a future first. I think I'm just still going to lean Rashee Rice there. On an orphan that I don't want to win, you're trading out of what could be a flat range. You're trading out of a possible value dip if the suspension comes, if it's more than what people does, if he has more knucklehead things, if recovery doesn't go the way, if anything else happens with Rice, you're getting ahead of that. You're getting out for a future first. So again, I can't hate the process. I can't hate getting 3 firsts in a deal, which brings you to 5 and 5 in 26 and 27, right? Or is it 25 and 26? Let's check that one more time. Of course, we go all the way back to the bottom. Okay, here we go. But really, on an orphan, again, I can't hate the deal. I can't hate it. But I think in general, I'm taking Hurts and Rice here. 12 by 12, right? Yes. It's not 12 by 10. Yes. It's not 10 by 8. Yeah. So 525 first, 526 first. So you're stocked up. You're going to load up. What I don't want to do is make this trade and then feel like, well, now I have to fill in my quarterback. And now I have to try to find my way into a high-end receiver. I end up having to make, multiple deals just to kind of get back to the same spot that you were at. And I mean, if I had 525 first and 226 first, I'd still feel decent about my chances to take some of those 25 picks, turn them to 26 first, build around Hurts. And I mean, Rice, I feel like I can get a future first for Rice at any point. I know Gabe, my counterpart, wants more or less nothing to do with Anthony Richardson, so he's probably firmly on the Hurts side. Those 26 first can be anything. They could even be a boat, right? So I'm going to take Hurts and Rice. I get why you did it. I agree. You didn't come out on top. And when I take over orphans, I like to make deals like this to show people I'm willing to play ball. I'm willing to take an L to get something done. And this is what I want to do. So I bet you got more trade offers in your inbox after making this deal. But I'm going to take Hurts and Rice. I can't hate the process, though. I cannot hate it. Maybe that move moves your team forward and maybe you're going. But let me know. Let us know in the comments, okay? 12 by 12. You took over an orphan. Are you sticking with Hurts and Rice? Are you taking the cash out? Are you taking Anthony Richardson and 3 firsts? I mean, as far as hammer hunting goes, it's a heavy price to pay, multiple firsts for sure, but you're consolidating in smart areas. So I'm interested where the people come down on that one. Matt Witt, 2410, 12 team Superflex, start 10, PPR, tight end premium, 6-point passing touchdown, -2 interceptions for quarterbacks. They received the Purdy side. They lost in the semis last year, so the 26th third hopefully should be mid to late. Pretty simple deal here. Purdy and a 26th fourth for Penix and a 26th third. So you're bouncing around at quarterback. You're playing within the tiers. Literally, who do you think is going to have the better outcome, or what quarterback can I do more with? What quarterback is going to have the same staying power? However you first approach this deal is probably where you're going to come down on it. I personally have Purdy in a higher tier than Penix. I think Penix is hot in the streets right now, but that's just kind of what happens when you're a rookie quarterback. You get a very small sample size and you look decent in that sample size. People are going to get ahead of their skis. We've seen a lot of Penix moved on this show, so I can't hate it from a flippability standpoint of going with Penix, but we've seen Purdy in that system. Purdy probably will get a bag here quite soon. So I'm going to go Purdy in the 4th. You can have the pick upgrade in Michael Penix. But hey, if you see Penix and Purdy in the same tier and that's just a free pick upgrade for you, good on you. I'm personally taking Purdy. Good job, Matt Witt. Mendeleev. Here we go. 10 team. Start 12. Superflex PPR, negligible tight end premium, only 0.25. So 10 by 12, Superflex PPR, 0.25 tight end premium. You're coming off winning the championship, and your team needs a slightly more depth, and I would love having a top 3 tight end, so I just swung the trade. Woo! Okay, here we go. Mendeleev. So we traded away Jahmyr Gibbs to get into Trey McBride, Chase Brown, and 206. Yeah, okay. Trading away Gibbs never feels great, right? And again, so the negligible 0.25 tight end premium. I know Gabe and I talked about this on a previous show, but man, it's like a no tight end premium league. Like, how can we put the oomph on those tight ends? So I'm just gonna pull over here. This is one of my leagues. It's similar tight end premium. So just look at the 3-year average here, right? So I'm 21, 22, 23, or 20, 22, 23, 24. No, 21, 22, 23, I think. The point here, right? This is a no tight end premium league that I have. It's not so much about where these lines kind of line up with each other, but look at the steepness and the flatness of this tight end line. Even in a low tight end premium league, if I can get into a top 3 tight end, like Mendeleev talks about here, that's the difference, right? It's studs or I will play the field, right? I don't need to make this move happen, but if doing that means that I can roster more thinly at tight end and open up more spots for running backs and backup quarterbacks and all that, then I'm here for it. Like, if I can't get into a Trey McBride, a Bowers, like a guy in that range, then I'm probably willing to go down to, like I said, the Jonnus, the Fryer moves, like that range of tight end, and just ride with 1 or 2 of them and figure it out. So even if it's a low tight end premium, I still like get into the difference makers. Trey McBride is that. Chase Brown, my Canadian bro, happy Canada Day to those who celebrate. Sidney Brown, newly minted Super Bowl champion, Sidney Brown, Canadian. So the Brown family's doing well. I clearly want Gibbs over Brown, but you're saying in a certain range of running back with Chase Brown. Interesting to see if Cincinnati adds something through the draft, what happens there in the backfield. But I think Chase Brown's role as a passing plus option, like a spike week potential running back, I like that. Getting 206 as well in a deep class. So yeah, it's always sucks trading away Gibbs, but if I can move my difference-making running back to get a difference-making tight end, a replacement plus running back, and a liquid pick, that's where I'm taking the package. That's where I'm not spending it to go up to the hammer. Give me McBride, give me Chase Brown, give me 206. I love it. Again, coming off the championship, your team needs slightly more depth. I would argue in a 10 by 12. Again, I'm not too worried about depth, especially in February. But I think you did this in a way that you got into 3 liquid assets. You're not getting into a Keenan Allen. You're not getting into a dead end asset like a Austin Eckler or Joe Mixon, right? Like even someone like I'll say Christian McCaffrey even, right? Like someone who people aren't itching to buy right now. And really the next window is going to come in season. For McBride, for Chase Brown, for 206, all those players should still have a market here today. So you can make more deals with those players if you want to. But I am fine taking the 3-for-1 for Gibbs in the situation you've brought here. So good stuff. Give me the elite guy. Give me the step down at running back, and give me the pick to go play with. I like it. Scardy. Here we go. 12 teams. Start 10 super flex. No tight end premium. Start 3 wide receivers. Lamar, Kyler, Locke, 8 other backups. Barkley, Mixon, Connor, Dowdle, Singletary, Gus, Benson, Madison, Cans, AJ Brown, Nico, Reek, Diggs, Cup, Terry McLaurin, my guy, Tyler Lockett, and Cortland Sutton. We got McBride, Ertz, 209, 31, 42, 26 second, 26 third. So no first in sight. A lot of stuff. Some picks to play with. A very nice wide receiver room. A deep wide receiver room. A filled out running back room. Lamar, Kyler, Locke, and 8 other backups. So you're set up well to play any quarterback on a 2 deep strategy. What you've done, you've traded away Michael Penix in 1-7 to get into Nico Collins and the 301. So yeah, I was playing around in some of my leagues just before the show today, because our boy Shane, at Shane Says, go check out anything he's popping over on YouTube or in the Discord. He's one of the best. I hope you had a great time at the Philly parade with the Chiefs losing. Sad times, but we were talking about trading Hurts and a third for Kyler and the 107, and immediately my eyes like, well, just give me that, give me Hurts. But I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, but I mean, if I feel like I can do more with like Kyler and the pick, then give me the pick. So this is kind of similar, right? We're not going all the way up to Hurts, but we're getting Penix and 107, but we're getting Nico and the 301. So the third's a little better than the example I brought up. Nico's not a quarterback, but he is a wide receiver that I will put the elite tag on Nico. I'm willing to pay up for Nico to be the hammer. Trading away Penix and the 107 to do it, though. So here, again, just kind of looking at your team, right? Lamar, Kyler. Do I need to add Penix to that? Nope. Right? So you're consolidating, you're keeping your construction, you're leaning into the 8 of the backups you have. So you're trying to use that Penix value to trade up at wide receiver. Before this deal, you had A.J. Brown, Reek, Diggs, Cup, Terry, Lockett, Sutton. So a lot of age, not a lot of youth or sex appeal. 107's a really, I like having 107 this year. I feel like a lot of value is going to fall to the 107 because the tiers are probably going to be flat with what we know today. So clearly want the 107 over the 301. I'm taking Nico Collins over Michael Penix straight up, but by how much is the question. So Scardy to, again, I liked the Dynasty Theory show this week where Mitch was hosting. It's like, no waffling, okay? We're getting straight answers. So I'm going to give you a straight answer here, Scardy, okay? In general, if you punch this into a calculator, if you posted this like no context, this or that, I'll take Penix in the 107. I think I can do a lot with that. With your particular team, I'm going to assume you've tried to trade Penix around. I'll say it's not the time to be like moving off of your first. I'd rather hold that at least until we get through the combine, let some of this hype build a little bit more. But with your team, I think adding Nico in the 301 moves your team forward more than Penix in the 107 does. A.J. Brown and Nico, that gives you a nice youthful core to build around. You can use A.J. Brown or Nico to go up higher to like a J.J. or a Chase if you want to. And it lets you feel a little better about liquidating guys like Nico, and Reek, Diggs, Cup, Terry. I wouldn't liquidate Terry though. So I get why you did it. I think with the context, I'll lean Collins in the 301, but Penix in the 107 is a hefty price to pay today to make that happen. So Scardy, I see why you did it. I'll take your side with the context you've provided here because I think that makes your team better. Thinks you make it a little more flexible. It leans into the construction you've built here with the backups. But Penix in 107 is pretty nice. So I'm curious what else you could have done with that. This is one I need the comments. Let me know. Are you consolidating to get into the hammer of Nico or Penix in the 107? Right? Yeah, the 301 is there. It's nice, but probably shouldn't shake the deal at the end of the day. So Penix in 107, Nico in 103. You let me know. Matt Witt, 2410. 12 team, start 11, Superflex, PPR 2, tight end premium, 1.25 PPR for running backs. So I listened to Scott Connor this week. He said a running back target this year was worth 0.42 more than a rush attempt. So getting those guys that can have a passing plus role matters, especially in a 0.125 PPR. Trade away Jalen McMillan, get into Chuba Hubbard. Oh, Canada. Let's go. Give me Chuba. I like McMillan. I like what I can do with McMillan in trades. I think McMillan's just going to fall into, I'll bring over the war one more time for the people here. Again, this was 2024. I just think that McMillan's going to fall into this flat range more often than not. All right. And again, if I could project ahead and I want to make a bet. I bet, because I mean, we saw the wide receiver saturation theory start to come into effect, right? There's a lot of good options, a lot of good influx of wide receivers came in last year. Some of the older guards started to age, some got hurt. So you see, it was the elites, and then it got very, very flat very, very quickly. You see, running back health was up this year. The ones, like the elite ones that got opportunity stayed healthy. And that's maybe a testament to having more multi-head backfield as well, right? So I don't want to discount that, but what do we have coming in this year? A multitude of running backs, and honestly, dope running backs. If I could take a guess at what's going to happen for like running back war and how I want to evaluate going forward, I bet the running back line looks a lot more similar to the wide receiver line this year. I bet you're going to see your sharp spike for your elite few, and then you're going to see a much more flat range of running back go forward. So if I can get into a guy that has that passing plus type upside, that's the difference maker for me in this format. I'm going to take Chuba. A long roundabout way to say I'm taking the Canadian. So give me Chuba, like McMillan, but not for that. Big Diaz, 12 teams, start 11, Superflex, PPR, running back 0.5, wide receiver 1.0, tight end 1.75, first down bonuses, minimum $1 fab bid, cool. But you trade away Joe Mixon, you get Ramondre Stevenson in the 212. Yeah. Process deal, right? 2 for 1, player in the pick for the player. You get the running back that gives you 70, 80% of what Joe Mixon does. Some weeks he's going to score more than Mixon. You get the 212. Yeah, it's not a future pick. Yes, it's the 212, so it's the, it's not a sexy pick, but in this class, I like having those shots in the late second, early third. So I'll take Ramondre in the second there. Diaz, I know how you work. I know what you'll do, so go do it. Yes, Nick O agrees. Very nice on the Chuba side. Diaz again. Oh boy. 12 team, start 10, Superflex, PPR. I don't see a tight end premium, but I do see Big Diaz getting Brock Bowers for Jahmyr Gibbs. You. So Diaz says they have 102, 2 later firsts, multiple seconds and thirds. So they'll replenish the running back stable for the elite outcome at tight end. Oh boy, let's see what the people say. Nico, any tight end premium, just PPR, got it. Gutsy deal, like the conviction to the roster process. Agreed. I have the picks. I stated I can replenish the running back. I'd rather get the elite outcome tight end. There'll be a difference maker for years to come. I can replace running back, but we'll see. I think I have to do it, even though I'd be pissed someone's getting the Jahmyr Gibbs. Roy G, it works for both. A very good team lacking top end running back talent. Feels like the tight end doesn't matter too much with the tight end premium. There we go. So we got both sides of the deal, right? It's a deal that works for both. I agree, right? If we are penciling Brock Bowers in as an elite outcome tight end year over year over year, and if we want to play that game, I would rather make the trade to get the running back and then bet, like Diaz is doing, that I can play the field. I can replace that for cheaper. I can play any running back on a 53. I can do these things to try to replace the Gibbs, especially in this class, right? This is the year to try to do something like this. No tight end premium. Again, that just means I want studs and duds, and that just reduces the scope of the tight ends that I'm really going to want to pay up for. I think if you polled the general community, said no tight end premium, people will be on the Gibbs side. I think they'll just say Gibbs is going to score more points. Give me Gibbs. I can't hate it. I really can't. But I'm going to be on Diaz's side here. I think I want to lock in the elite outcome. And yes, like Gabe says, Bowers could be what Laporta was, right? Tight end 1 and then not, right? That absolutely could happen. But Bowers in a poo-poo situation was elite, quarterback proof, put up historic numbers. And I don't know. I'm willing to take that bet on Bowers. I'm willing to bet that he is generational, that he is, and really watch what happens in 2024 in the draft here. Like the best thing for, like I heard Scott say this, and I agree. The best thing for Tyler Warren and this tight end class was Brock Bowers. Right? The reason why we're gonna be pumping them up in the draft, start to draft them higher. It's not because of Kyle Pitts. It's not because of Laporta. It's because of Brock Bowers that we're going to put the oomph behind tight ends in the draft this year. So I'm going to take Bowers. I get why you did. I get why Roy did it. I think it's a good deal for both sides. I agree. Gun to my head, give me Bowers for all the reasons listed out here. Matt Witt back again, 12 by 12. X Legette or 209. I mean, I love me some Legette. I love the way he speaks. I just love him as a person. Probably a good dude. You know, he's raccoon. Awesome. But give me 209. All right, just give me 209. 12 by 12. Just give me the what's going to be a very, very flat range of wide receiver and a questionable offense. Give me the shot in the draft at 209. Not close. And wait, if I'm not mistaken, once again, Diaz. Same league as we'll get to your other deal, but I mean, 209 and 13 fab for Legette. Just give me the pick, man. Like, even at 12 by 11, just give me the pick. Like, Legette is fine, but I'm not spending a second on him, especially a second in this classic. I'm just not doing it. If I have Legette, I'm cool to hold. Not in a hurry, I guess, to say he's a 0, but I'm not spending capital today on Legette. So, good deals. This is a non-completed deal, so I'm not going into that, even though I do love me a 3-team deal. You got to be a completed deal to get on this show, unfortunately. TKB, 12 teams, start 10. Best ball, let's go. PPR 0.5 tight end premium, super flex. I'm the team acquiring Chase. Okay, so this whole show has really been a lot of hammer hunting. Where are we making the move to get into the hammers? Where are we not? Best ball can flip that on its head. We're taking the package, taking the down tiers, taking the liquidity. It can make more sense than building around the hammer, but the context of the league always matters. So 12 team start 10 PPR, it's very shallow. Well, I guess not very shallow, but it is a shallower format. So having the studs can work if you construct around it correctly. So I would need to kind of see both sides of this team and both sides of this deal to really give a full answer. But in general, potato skins in the 12 team start 10 best ball PPR 0.5 tight end premium super flex league gets into Jamar Chase and Zach Moss. They trade away Garrett Wilson, 104, and a 2026 second. So, very interesting, very interesting. So Jamar Chase, he is the hammer in this deal. It's the best ball. You're the team acquiring Chase. Hear me clearly. I can never hate getting into Jamar Chase. Even if the price is heavy, that's the price, right? The price is the price for elite players. Chase had an awesome season. You're not getting Chase for any cheaper, more likely, right? Zach Moss, is he a running back on a 53? We will see. We will see. But on the other side, so you're sending away Garrett Wilson, 104, and a 26 second. In general, I want the 26 second over Zach Moss, so that's not really factoring into me here. Garrett Wilson, he's one of those guys that, I mean, really, like, what are you willing to pay for Garrett Wilson? Is it a 104? Probably should, right? Even if we're talking like all the way up to like 101, like 102, 101. If you're on the clock and you have to choose between like a Genty or a Tet or maybe a quarterback, gets up there, like if you have to make that choice, how many people are going to want to just pull that ripcord and get into a guy like a Garrett Wilson? Devontae Adams was supposed to come in and just, nuke him and take over its whole job. And what happened? Well, it took attention away, and Garrett Wilson was able to thrive with a ayahuasca'd up Aaron Rodgers in the backfield. So I like Garrett Wilson. I know my colleague Gabe loves him some Garrett Wilson. And I mean, really, if I'm sitting there like 102, like I'm probably setting that pick for Garrett Wilson. So you're getting Garrett Wilson in 104 for Chase. So this comes down to what you think you can do with the picks. Is there anything better we can do other than going Garrett Wilson in 104 up to Chase? I'd like to think there is, especially in best ball, where it's more about what am I doing with all of my other bench spots versus what's my best player. So Garrett Wilson, I think he can give you, I'll be conservative and say 65 to 70% of what Chase can give you. I think it's more, but I will be conservative. He can give you up to that. Yes, there's question marks in the offense, and more will be revealed as we get through the process of who's the quarterback, what's the system, what does it look like. But 104, it's a fungible pick. It's a fun time to get into the 104. I think you're looking at a high outcome running back, possibly a quarterback, possibly a wide receiver. Or again, you can use that pick and go and trade out elsewhere. And you get a 26 second as well, another bullet in the chamber to go and spend in season to patch up holes on your best ball roster and to push in at the right time. So the way I Dynasty TKB, I'm going to take Garrett Wilson 104 in the 26 second. When I say that, that means would I have those players, what I want to do with like the 104, Garrett Wilson in the second? I feel like I am multiplying out my options in best ball. Because in a 12-team start 10, that means like I want at least 20 players who can hit my lineup reliably week over week over week. And given the fact we're not in the point scoring season, that means I want to put a premium on younger assets, flexible assets, things that I can maybe split 2 for 1 if I need to, or use to go up when the time is right. I feel like you're trading away the pieces to go and get a deal done in Garrett Wilson 104 in the second. But again, you're getting Jamar Chase. So you did the damn thing. You're going to be happy looking at your lineup, seeing Chase. I'm going to assume you can probably get a similar deal for Chase most times. Maybe not up to the 104, but you can definitely get like a Garrett Wilson type, a future first and a plus. So I'm curious what you can do with that Chase or what your plan with Chase is. But in general, on the surface, playing best ball, just how I play, I'm going to take Garrett Wilson 104 in the second. Do I stay and pick at 104? Probably not. I probably use that and try to maybe I kick that to 108 and a future first if I can, or maybe I trade that out for another wide receiver and a pick. Like I'll probably split 104 versus taking the player there if I can, and go from there. So I like the Garrett Wilson side. I am curious what the people think in best ball. You trading Garrett Wilson 104 26 second, or you getting up to Jamar Chase? Let me know. Diaz again. Got a couple of Penix, a lot of Penix on this show, hey? Jeez. Is Penix a hammer now, I guess? I don't know. 12 by 11 super flex. We got tiered PPR, first down bonuses, failed contender, bad beats, attrition, top in points against, cashing in on the profit of my many portfolio Penix and banking the value. Caleb and Lamar are my other quarterbacks. So I know Diaz plays in enough leagues to actually play the portfolio style. A lot of times we hear portfolio, you're in 4 leagues. It's like you're not really going to be able to play that to your fullest. So I don't want to make deals based on portfolio on those. But I know Diaz, I said when you're at 20 plus range, that's when we're talking portfolio. So I get it. And I mean, you have a lot of Penix. You're just cashing out for a future first at a 25 second, 205. You're in the top. You're in that echelon of picks that historically matter. Right past the 205, you get more questionable from a WAR perspective. So yeah, Diaz again. I know how Diaz plays. That 26 first, that 205. That's gonna either replenish the running back and on his running back room. 26 first is going to be used down the road or to tier up in the right time. You have Caleb and Lamar, so I bet he takes Caleb that first and second and tries to climb the quarterback ladder, something like that, right? So Diaz, I like the price, first and a second. I don't think you're getting 2 first for Penix. If Penix comes out and smashes at the start of the year, that's when you can probably get the 2 first plus. But until we're there, you're not getting that. So this is a nice cash out deal. If you're looking to flip, I would be sending my 26 first and 25. All right, sorry, I'd be sending my Penix away for a 26 first in the 205. Good job, Diaz. We've already gone over your Legette deal there. And here we go again. Same deal, right? Different league. Taking the profit. This is Jaden Darnold. So similar setup. 26 first in the 204 from Michael Penix in the 12 by 11 Superflex. Yeah, I'm just taking that deal, Diaz. Just do it. Diaz wheeling and dealing, says Pistol Pete. I agree. What is this? I, too, am extraordinarily humble. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we got a couple more. Perk Daddy. 12 by 10, Superflex PPR 0.5 tight end premium. We got May and Herbert, Pollard, Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Romo Dunze, Cooper Kupp, and Njoku. 103, 104. Jamar Chase again. Hey, let's go. So we got Jamar Chase in 308 being acquired for Brian Thomas Jr., 203, and a 2026 first. So the last deal we talked about, Garrett Wilson, 104 and a 26 second. Replace the 26 second with the 203. I'll take the 203 over that. Replace Brian Thomas Jr. with Garrett Wilson. And I mean, I bet if you polled the community, they'll want Brian Thomas Jr. over Garrett Wilson. Correct or not, they'll want Brian Thomas Jr. over Garrett Wilson. 26 first, I definitely want the 104 over a 26 first, but the other two pieces, I think you're probably playing in the same arena after you kind of shake everything out. For Chase in the 308, so 308 instead of Zach Moss. So we're looking at a very similar deal, but we're not in best ball this time. This is lineup. Where, again, if I'm hammer hunting in lineup, it's just about how high can I climb. And outside, it's a 12 by 10. I don't care about depth outside of my, 11th or 12th player. Right? It's just how high can I climb, especially this time of year. I'll break roster construction to get into an echelon where either I know I can get this same price later on when it matters, or I'm just going to move up and figure it out and backfill. So you had, before that, you have Nico, Rome, Cup, and Brian Thomas Jr. You say, okay, give me Chase. I'll trade away. I have the 103 and 104, so I'll trade away that 203, not a problem. I'll move that future first because I believe that May, Herbert, Pollard, and this team will get me there. But I mean, Perk, if I'm looking at the team you have, I like May, I like Herbert. I assume with 103 and 104, you're going to add probably a couple running backs, maybe a Tet if he's there. Njoku, 0.5 tight end premium, that's good enough. So I think your team's it's decent, but it's one of those teams too that it feels like once we get to September and what we all thought was going to happen, the NFL doesn't happen. This could be one of those teams where you wish you had that future first still. Chase could be the difference maker for sure. Again, in best ball, that's where I'm kind of going the other way. But in lineup here, I'm going to take Brian Thomas Jr. 26 first and a 203 versus trading up to get into the hammer of Chase here. I think Brian Thomas Jr., I could do a lot with Brian Thomas Jr. right now. You get that 26 first banked in your back pocket to fill some holes down the road. And you get 203, which again, it's a nice pick to have in this class. Yes, you're trading out of Chase. Yes, Chase is the best player in the deal, no doubt. Yes, Brian Thomas Jr. is going to have to deal with the headaches of being in Jacksonville. And it's probably going to maybe, the hype will maybe cool if things don't go well out of the gate. But I'm taking Brian Thomas Jr. 26 first and 203. I will trade away my Jamar Chase for that. So if we're in a league and I have Chase and it's this setup and it makes sense, send me this deal. I will take the Brian Thomas Jr. first and the 203. I would love, again, I think some people really want the hammer here as well. And I cannot hate it. But I think with what I can do with Brian Thomas Jr. in those picks, I will make that happen. But hey, you don't get the shot to get into Chase every day there, Perk Daddy. So get yourself into some Chase. Okay, Shane and T. Metzger 5405 got a deal in a 14-team start 10 Superflex PPR. It's a 0.2 point per carry and a 1.75 tight end premium. T. Metzger has Stroud and Penix, Bucky, Kyron, Najee Warren, JMO, DJ Moore, Olave and Waddle, Bowers, Ferguson, and Freiermuth, and all the picks from the 107, 207, 307 spot. So we got this orphan a month ago, wanted to upgrade the wide receiver room. As far as an orphan goes, that's a pretty damn nice orphan. So no hate on the orphan there. But Shane trades away his boy, Puka Nacua. For those who know, Shane traded away Puka, that's real. So Shane traded away Puka Nacua in the 402, got 107 in the 26 first. Okay. So T. Metzger wants to upgrade the wide receiver room on this orphan. I can't believe this is an orphan. This is a good orphan. I agree. Puka's clearly the best wide receiver in your room. It probably makes you more flexible than trading away an Olave and a Waddle for a price that people actually want to pay for Waddle and Olave this time of year. You have Ferguson and Muth you can do some things with. You still have all your picks aside from the 107. I don't love trading away my future first on an orphan that I just picked up. But as far as orphans go, this is pretty nice. So 14 team of it all. Definitely want to make sure my quarterbacks are good. CJ and Penix, you have at least two. So we'll see what happens there. But I know Shane, and I know that if he's trading away Penix, or if he's trading away Puka, that the cash out has to make sense for him. So he's taking the shot on a first of an orphan, the 107, which should be nice in this class. And you can probably flip that into something different as well. Really, this is a good deal. This is a good deal for both sides. I think both teams probably got better because of it. Shane, when I'm looking at this, I'm like, I think I've seen you move Puka for more. I know you've been trying to move Puka a little bit to get a little bit of a shakeup going. So I'm interested to see what Shane's team looks like in all this and how that all shakes out. You get 2 firsts for Puka. It's probably about it, right? Like you're not getting 3. You might get 2 and maybe a kick of something else, but you're not getting more than 2 firsts. And I mean, 107 is a decent pick. So I'll tell you what, man, I would trade my 107 and a 26 first for Puka on this team. I would. And here's why. Again, if I'm taking over an orphan, that 26 first is probably on lockdown because I probably want to trade out the things that I can't use and try to figure out another way. But I mean, look at your team, man. You got Stroud, Penix, both flippable players. Bucky, Kyron was on Scott's top running back sells. Go check that video out for more. Najee, Warren, okay. JMO, DJM, Olave, and Waddle. That was the weak point of your team. Adding a hammer to that room actually makes that a lot better. It makes you more flexible. Bowers, you got Bowers, check. And now again, you can move Ferg and Muth. If you can trade those 2 guys for like some seconds, just start to backfill a little bit more that way, gain your liquidity back that way, I'm cool with it, man. On Shane's side, you're getting a nice payout, 1.7, 26 first. It all comes down to what you do with those picks. I know Shane is active. I know he'll do something with those picks. So this is a great deal both sides. I'll take the Puka. Just give me the hammer. We'll go hammer hunting. Let's see. Any more that we need to get to here? Gosh, there's so many deals. We're popping. We got a Judy deal. Wilson. Okay. Gosh. Okay. Let's end here. Jay Perocco. 1 quarterback, 14 team, start 10. 1 quarterback. So again, the Genty name is probably locked into 101 pretty hard there. 1 quarterback, you're giving up 101 and 201. So the team that had the worst team this year trades them both away. Gets into Garrett Wilson and JT, Jonathan Taylor. So I was talking about in the previous Garrett Wilson deal, like 101, 102, like I can see people spending that for Garrett Wilson. And Jonathan Taylor was on the top running back sells video for Scott on the DDFB YouTube page. So, 201, I would buy Jonathan Taylor for a 201. Yes. I like 101, especially in 1 quarterback. Like you're just kind of separating yourself from everyone else in the field. But I'm going to take JT and Garrett Wilson here. I am. I think, yes, the picks, I can definitely do a lot with those picks for sure. But I think if I'm sitting there and I can get Garrett Wilson and the plus I get to make it work is Jonathan Taylor, that's where I want to buy into Jonathan Taylor. That's how I want to do it. So give me Wilson, give me JT. Let me lock in 2 solid starters in a 14-team start 10. And yeah, enjoy Genty, enjoy 201. You're going to have fun with those picks, but I'm just going to take the veterans here. So that's where we'll end it. This is a fun show. A lot of me talking. So if you don't enjoy old Ty DeClaire talking, then this probably wasn't the show for you. But those who stuck around, thank you so much. If you found this actionable, entertaining, somewhere in between, hit the like, hit subscribe, shoot me a comment. I'll get back to you as soon as I can as well. So, hey, hammer hunting season. Let's go get it. If you want to use the tools that I used on this show, head over to ddfantasyfootball.com. Use code TRADEGOAT. Get 50% off the GOAT tier. You get access to the War Tool, the Trinity Tracker, all that good. If you just want to get into the Discord, chop it up with us, you can head on over, use code TRADES, get 50% off the All Conference plus Discord tier. Underdog, let's get in there. Use code ALLGAS, get your first time special pick and deposit bonus up to $1,000. And patreon.com/AllGas still gets you in the door. Thank you so much. I appreciate every watch, every listen. It's a fun time. Combine's right around the corner. It's probably the last time you're gonna be able to get in some of these elite picks. Not even elite picks, just even just the later picks, the early seconds. You're gonna be able to get some deals done now before the Combine happens. And then once the Combine happens, then we kind of flip script and try to flip those. So get stock up now, get your hammers in, go get some picks, and let's have some fun this Dynasty season. I'll see you again next week. We added this thing. Peace.